So, is the kit lens really a bad lens? Let's talk about it for a minute. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy AJ, back again. And today we just want to talk about the kit lens that comes with the entry-level cameras. So, like we said, kit lens, that could be your 18 to 55 millimeter lens that comes with the Canon camera, your entry-level cameras, such as your Rebel T5s, your T7s, your T8s, so on and so forth. Sony has their kit lenses. Nikon has their kit lens, but kit lens is just the lens that basically comes with the entry-level cameras. Not considered all that great, but the question is the lens really that bad? So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So the idea for this video came from me seeing an article on Google about a professor who's banned the use of the kit lens in her class. Won't go into a whole bunch of detail. I'll link the actual article in the description below, but the discussion here is the kit lens really a bad lens to use? Well, what we're going to do here is going to break down a few pros and a few cons. Then maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not the kit lens is going to be right for you, especially as a beginner photographer. First, let's talk about some pros. Pro number one, different range in focal lengths. So again, like we said, with this Canon camera, the focal length on this one is 18 to 55 millimeters. 18 is going to give you that wide range. Okay, so we're looking at wide shots here with the 18 millimeters. So that's good for your landscape photographies. It's good for if you're doing vlogging, you're going to get wide shots with that. Or rather, if you want to go full on with the 55 millimeter, where we zoom it in, we dial it in a bit. That way it's really going to be good for portrait photographies rather. You can get the good blurry background for your photos. Wouldn't necessarily recommend it for video work necessarily, but it does work really well for photography. Another pro is that the kit lens is very lightweight. The materials that it's made with are very lightweight materials, which makes it easy for a vlog setting. So if you're carrying your camera around and you don't have this really heavy lens weighing it down, the lighter lens is going to make it easier for you to hold that camera, whether it's in your hand or it's on a tripod. It's going to make that camera a whole lot easier to hold. Another pro is the kit lens actually does not take bad photos. Now, it may not be as sharp or as clear as, say, maybe those professional lenses, the L series lens, or if you have a Canon, or if you have a Sony, the G Master lenses. It's not going to be as sharp, it's not going to be as clear, but it does take pretty good, decent pictures, especially given a really good, well-lit situation. So don't count this lens out. It does take great pictures, especially if you're starting off. Okay, so we talked about the pros. Let's talk about the cons. Now, a con to this lens, to the kit lens, is going to be the build quality. Yeah, we said that a pro was the build quality and the fact that it was lightweight, but that can also be a bad side too. How so? Well, it's not made to be as durable as those professional lenses are. The materials are different. The glass is different. So you're going to get a less sharper image, like we mentioned. The weight of it is a bit lighter. It's a more plastic material, which can allow it to break a bit easier. So you do have to be a bit more careful with those lenses. Not to say that with the professional lenses you don't have to be careful with those also, but you definitely want to be careful with these kit lenses too. Okay. Another con, and this is actually a pretty big one, is the aperture does not open as wide as, say, a professional zoom lens would. So a kit lens, for instance, may only open as wide as, say, maybe a 3.5 or even a 4. If you're in a low light setting, that's really not going to be feasible, because you're not going to be able to let as much light in as, say, a lens that'll have maybe an aperture setting of 2.8 or 1.8 or 1.2 rather. Those lenses where the aperture opens up a lot wider and lets in more light allows you to have better versatility in those low light settings, therefore allowing you to dial your ISO back to a lower setting. That way you can take in a much less noise, much less grain in your photos, giving them a crisper, cleaner look. And our last con, and it's kind of been mentioned before, but your images are just not going to be as sharp with a kit lens as it would be with the professional lens. You're just not going to get that clarity. The glass is made a lot different. It's just not too many ways to say that it's not going to be that sharp, guys. So that's a really big drawback on using a kit lens versus a professional lens. So what's the takeaway from this video? Is the kit lens really a bad lens to use? Well, the answer is, if you're beginning, if you're just starting out, no, not at all. I've taken some amazing pictures with the kit lens. Some amazing pictures. We can just do a comparison of some different focal lengths with the kit lens versus a prime lens. You'll see some of the little differences, the nuances in how the kit lens looks versus the prime lens. Even a lower quality prime lens is going to be a much sharper image, a much clearer image. It's going to have pretty much everything that you're looking for in a quote-unquote professional look, rather than what a kit lens is going to give you. But that's not to take away from the kit lens. The kit lens will do you justice starting off. Do I recommend continuing on with it as you continue your photography career? Absolutely not. But starting off, go for it. It's a great lens. I believe that there's no such thing as a bad lens, but only better lenses. So get out there, shoot with it. If that's what you can afford right now, shoot with that kit lens. Use it to the best of your abilities. And then when you can afford to, then go ahead and purchase prime lenses. And you'll see the difference in what you can really do with your photography. But until then, continue shooting, continue to level up, and hey, we'll see you next time. Yeah, and by the way, I forgot to mention, this video, I'm shooting with the kit lens.